Hi everyone, how are you? Welcome back to another video this week. This week I am going to be answering a question from somebody that sent in to me. And the question was, how do I practice love when my partner and I disagree? Even over the smallest little things, we seem to, disagree, and sometimes I feel like that makes me doubt the relationship. And how do I practice love in times like this? And that's a really, really good question. So thank you to the person that sent that in. And what I want to talk about and sort of what came up for me to, I guess, pass on to everybody was just the paying attention to the situation of disagreeing in the first place. So, from my experience, when I get into a disagreement with somebody, or I'm having a conversation, or I notice that somebody, my boyfriend doesn't do things the way I would do things, I tend to feel a little agitated. I disagree with the way he does things. But what I realize what's really going on, the second that you recognize that you disagree with somebody, that you have a difference of opinion, what I found the underlying feeling is you're not feeling validated. You're not feeling approved of. You're not feeling heard. You're not feeling acknowledged. And I think that's what a lot of people feel when somebody doesn't agree with them, or when somebody doesn't do things the way they do them, or when somebody does things differently. It triggers this feeling of, I must be wrong. I must be wrong, even if we're sure we're right. um, there's an insecure part of us, I think, because we're humans, where we want to feel validated, and we want to feel acknowledged, and we want to feel approved of. And when you disagree, or somebody disagrees with you, there's that little ping of, maybe I'm not approved of. Maybe, I'm not being acknowledged right now. And so when I talk about this subject, the biggest thing that comes to me is to take a step back from the disagreement and realize that it's not actually this person disagreeing with you that is creating the tension or the anger or the frustration in you. It's your own feeling of an insecurity, or feeling of a lack, or feeling of unapproval that's coming up for you. And this person is just mirroring them, or mirroring that back to you. So if somebody, disagrees with your opinion on healthy eating or something like that, I think maybe deep down you have, you know, an insecurity about something else where you need to feel validated, or maybe you haven't taken the time to nurture yourself lately, and so that frustration is coming up for you. So that's my advice, and that is my take on the whole situation of disagreements, no matter how big or small in a relationship. It's when we're triggered, it's really about our want for approval, our want for acknowledgement, and our want for acceptance. And so, how we can handle those situations with love is to realize that we can give that to ourselves. We can give ourselves approval. We can give ourselves acceptance. We can give ourselves acknowledgement. And when we do that, we rely a lot less on how other people do things, other people's opinions, other people's actions, and the way they do things in general. We are much more accepting. And if it's something that needs to be talked about between a couple, realizing, first of all, that we can acknowledge ourselves and approve of ourselves in the heat of the disagreement. You kind of need to take a step back and go, okay, I can see that I'm triggered. I can see that I'm upset. Okay, I need to take a minute here and pull myself back, tell my partner I need a few minutes to figure out what it is. Maybe you need longer than a few minutes, and that's okay. However long you need to step back and figure out what's really going on for you is really going to help you. And then being able to communicate that to your partner and say, I don't know if you felt me getting anxious or angry, but that action that you did triggered this in me, and I realized that. And once you take a stance of owning and acknowledging your part in it, your partner's defenses and reasons to get defensive are going to come way down, and the two of you are going to have a much better chance of handling the whole situation from a place of love. If nobody's being blamed or attacked, and you are taking ownership of your part of the disagreement and owning it fully, there is so much more space to have a really loving conversation. And if you're not in that mindset, I would recommend, if you're able to, waiting until you can get yourself into that space. And I really know that that is challenging. Sometimes you just want to hash it out right now. Maybe it's before bed and you want to get it over with and you want to talk about it. And we all do that, and that's fine. But I notice that my best ways of coming in and solving disagreements with love are when I've been able to take the time to really reflect on me. What's come up for me? Where did it come from? And take ownership of that, and then say to Andre, judgment came up for me, and it's because, I'm judging myself for not working as hard as I think that I should. We're very hard on ourselves. And a lot of times we just throw that right onto the people that we really, really care about. They're the easiest targets, and we know they love us. And that's going to make it difficult to have a bigger awareness of a disagreement and what's really going on. So I hope that this helps you. If you have any further questions, please shoot me a message on Facebook, or a private message. And thank you so much for the question. And if anybody else has any questions or comments that they'd like discussed, please, I'd love to hear from you. And I really enjoyed being able to sort of, I guess, give my 2 cents on this. And you can shoot me a private message even in Facebook if you want it to remain anonymous and you don't like the thought of leaving a comment. I totally get that. Or you can email me. You can go to my website at luminousliving.ca to check out more videos. And if this was helpful for you and you know of anybody else who this would be really helpful for, please pass this on. Please share this video, forward it on to them. And I would really love that. So thank you all so much, and I will see you soon. Bye.